Let's continue our conversation. In addition to former CIA analyst Fred Fleitz, we are pleased to welcome in my former colleague in the House of Representatives, the one-time chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Pete Hoekstra. Pete joins us from Newsmax, Washington. Pete, you first. We just heard from Pervez Musharraf. He claims the evolution of the Taliban is essentially America's fault. Do you agree with that assessment?
No, absolutely not. That's an outrageous statement. The Pakistani government, elements of their intelligence service, for years have been coddling up to the Taliban. They fostered and provided it with the safe haven in the ungoverned areas of Pakistan, crossing over into the border of Afghanistan. They have a whole lot more to do with the development and the growth of the Taliban. And, you know, the new government in Pakistan has started taking steps against the Taliban effectively, something that Musharraf never did. And, you know, so the new government is degrading the Taliban, and that is why the Taliban retaliated, went after a soft target. We're now starting to see the real face of the Taliban and ISIS as they become more radicalized, as they come under increasing pressure.
Fred Fleitz,
it's not America's fault.
Fred Fleitz, you heard what Pete had to say. As I was listening to Pete's answer, we can talk about the Taliban, but it seems to me the whole relationship with Pakistan and the United States has blown hot and cold. If I'm not mistaken, 9/11, as I recall, some of the intelligence operatives or intelligence leaders for the Pakistani intelligence organization were on Capitol Hill, ironically, talking to some of our senators and congressmen. You take a look at Pakistan, Fred. In the minute and a half we have left, I'm just curious, how do they see the world? How do they see the United States? And ultimately, how do they see the Taliban? Will they move now to eradicate the Taliban?
Well, JD, I think one reason that this attack occurred is because the new government of Pakistan has been moving against the Taliban in Pakistan, has made some significant gains, and to some extent this was a revenge attack. But let's be clear, this was a Sharia massacre, a Sharia atrocity by radical Islamists trying to inflict a fanatical version of Islam on the country. They believe you go to paradise by killing non-believers, and they therefore systematically executed 132 school children. That's what we're facing in Iraq. That's what we're facing in Afghanistan. It is a challenge from radical Islam. It is a war that is still ongoing.
And mindful of the fact that the war is ongoing, Fred Fleitz, if you had to prioritize the American response, what would it be? 30 seconds left in this part.
We shouldn't be downplaying the threat from radical Islam. And I think the president and this administration has been doing that. I think we need a reaffirmation from this administration who and what the threat really is.
Fair enough. Pete Hoekstra, we're going to ask you to hang in. Fred Fleitz, we thank you for your time. When we come back, we're going to move to another area of concern. We're going to talk about Russia. We talked about the economic implications of what's going on there with Steve Forbes earlier this hour. Now the geopolitical, military, and intelligence implications of the Russian financial meltdown. More with Pete Hoekstra when America's Forum comes back.